Christina are out here at the Sofitel in Beverly Hills, outside the after party for the Beverly Hills Film Festival. Are you a big fan of independent film?
Well, I've been involved with independent film for a very long time. I was in New York and we were involved with 50 films. We used to trade off films. We made 3 films a year, independent films. And I had a very large company. If we were too busy, we would send a film to Ted Hope or James Schamus. And if they were too busy, they'd send a film to us. So we had a nice collaboration going in New York.
What are some of your
And then I came out here.
favorite
I was involved with Johnny Suede, which was Brad Pitt's first leading role. Metropolitan, which Sundance recognized last year.
Movie, Metropolitan.
Oh, really?
I love it. Yes, I've actually seen that one.
Can you remember any of the lines?
There's an escort shortage. That's the.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But I actually love that film, being a debutante myself.
Sundance actually recognized Metropolitan last year as one of the films that started Sundance.
Right.
So we had to go up and do Q&As for that film. You know.
Great. No,
So
I love that.
I used to work with De Niro at Tribeca, and I started the First Look film series, which gave birth to the Tribeca Film Festival. And when, actually, this is a really cool piece of information. You know, Metropolitan, the line producer, passed away. And when he died, and Metropolitan...
During the filming? Or?
No, he died afterward, a couple years afterward. And when he died, I was so distraught that I called up Ira Deutschman, who had brought Metropolitan to New Line and was rewarded with Fine Line Features. And I said, Ira, there has to be an MVP award for the most valuable player in film every year in honor of Brian. Someone who went well beyond the call of duty to make this film. And so I said, you gotta, you know, in honor of Brian Greenbaum. And so he started the Independent Spirit Awards. Ira started off of that idea. I didn't think of it as a financial thing. That was Dawn Hudson, who expanded into a whole financial thing. But for me, I just thought of it as an MVP award for the most valuable player in films each year.
Right.
You know.
What do you think of the overlap between films like Black Swan, who, you know, are in the Independent Spirit Awards and the Oscars as well? Like, it's kind of...
Well, no, I think it's it's normal right now, because a lot of the studios are not making films that the Academy recognizes as quality films from a dramatic or emotional level. The studios tend to make right now, they tend to make, you know, big budget tentpole features of $100 million or more. And how many of those films can you make each year? 1 or 2? So you have to buy independent films, which is great. It means they buy the independent films, and then those independent films go out. Last year at Sundance, there were 40 films that were sold. The good ones sold in the $4 to $6 million range. If there was any quality, they sold in the $4. Do you know what that means? That means if you make a $4 million film, and you have a budget covered of 70% from federal, state, and city tax incentives, and then you get in product integration money of 1.2 to release the escrow of the $4 million, you could have a 43% return in 9 months, or 114 if you sold it for $6 million. That's great for the investors. It's great for the distributors. It means the studio picks it up and it's a small film, but then they promote it to the Academy Awards. But it also means that, you know, it shows up in the Independent Spirit Awards. But you know, I did have something, you know, at Sundance years ago. Every film that was there was a film that someone's father or mortgaged their house, or the brother mortgaged their house, or you know what I mean? It was all really, truly independent. And now they're using it a lot more for marketing purposes. Look for my next film, The Second Solution, that I'm starring in.
Okay.
And then I have Back Again, which we're putting together right now, finishing the financing.
Okay.
And Julio Mercado is going to shoot, who shot Home Alone and The Wedding Crashers for a very small budget.
What are you working on personally
right now? Let's see. I'm getting ready to go to Miami. I'll be promoting my single, How Far Will You Go, featuring Lil Wayne. We're going to be attending the Billboard Latin Music Awards, so I'm going to be doing some stuff there, and I'm going to be working on a pilot here in May. So.
What channel?
They didn't tell me yet, but the show is called The Trinity.
Okay.
The pilot is called The Trinity. So.
Great.
New hit single is actually coming out. It's called Baile. It's actually two different versions. We're doing dance and baile. Baile means dance. So we're doing South America first, and then we're converting it over for America. But yeah, I hit #2 on the Billboard charts with Too Short, the legendary rapper. So getting ready for the new release. We're doing it through Universal Records. A lot of big team involved, national distribution. It's gonna be hitting the airwaves real soon. So check it out.
Yeah, I have a couple of independents coming out. I have Yellow Rock coming out with Michael Bean and James Rousseau, Spears Brothers, and Zon McLarnon. That should be out probably about June. And then I also have my own film coming out, The Dead and the Damned. It's a Western horror.
Where did you film that?
That was shot in San Francisco, surprisingly.
Oh.
The outskirts, all the suburbs, the hills, and it's a beautiful, I mean, I had no idea Sausalito and all those surrounding San Francisco areas were so beautiful. So.
What's the premise behind it? What's the horror part of it?
The horror would be, we'll just throw it out there like it's meteor from outer space lands, turns abandoned town into zombie land, and luckily I'm on the outside of town, and we survive based on what's the vengeance of they want to kill, and hopefully Twilight's coming in the next couple of weeks, and I'm gonna shoot some more flashback sequences.
Sure, everyone's so excited for that. So excited. I know she's a huge Twilight fan.
I hope. So that's all I can say.
I'm gonna be lead actor in a very suspenseful, thrilling, action-packed military black ops movie that we'll be shooting here in LA. Got some big names involved. Don't really want to say, but Fabio, Steven Seagal, a couple other people. So that'll be in the works this year.
Sold. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I'm ex-military, Black Ops Special Forces, and then June 19th, Staples Center, LA Sparks. I'm doing the halftime and entertainment portion for the U.S. soldiers and troops. So if you'd like to attend, please look me up on Facebook. Jack Lane.
So I understand your film has already premiered.
Yes.
And how did it go?
I think it went really well. I think it was well received. It's a really interesting. It's about the Chicago 8, a trial in 1968. It's a really intense, interesting story. Amazing actors. Philip Baker Hall is just amazing.
Can you tell us the backstory and what went on for people who aren't familiar?
It's a true story. It's based on the transcripts from the court trial of these 8 activists that were pretty much unfairly put on trial for inciting a riot when really they were kind of just doing a peaceful movement, and they were really unfairly treated and tried, and so it just kind of puts a big microscope on what was happening at the time and human rights and anti-war.
And I understand there have been other adaptations of this before. The story
a lot. Yes, a lot.
And so how is this one going to be different?
This really gives a large perspective on really everyone involved, on the times of the different sides of the Black Panthers and the hippies and the people that were prepping and anti-hippie, and so
maybe something people have forgotten about for a while.
Yeah, it's a really interesting story. It's very inspiring, again, to just kind of see people stand up for themselves, and that time was really scary. I think we forget about it's all hippie and peace and love, but it was a kind of scary time. It's when people were really standing up for themselves and saying, no, this is not what we want, and not everybody was for that. So it was all peace and love, but it was really brave of a lot of people. And